Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Liberty Times, U.S. Acting Secretary of the Navy, Hung Ta, announced the temporary suspension of $14 billion in arms sales to Taiwan. This decision was made to ensure a sufficient ammunition supply for the ongoing Iran war, specifically for what he referred to as the Epic Fury operation. Ta made this statement during a House Appropriations Committee Defense Subcommittee hearing on May 21. He clarified that while the U.S. currently possesses enough missiles and interceptor systems, the government chose to halt the sales to prioritize war inventory. He emphasized that future U.S. foreign military sales would continue, with the timing of resumption to be determined by War Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. This announcement appears to contradict former President Trump's earlier remarks, where he suggested he had not yet approved Taiwan arms sales, potentially using them as a bargaining chip with China. Since the outbreak of the Iran war, the U.S. military has expended a significant number of long-range cruise missiles, Tomahawk missiles, and Patriot interceptor missiles. Taiwan's representative to the U.S., Yu Tsai, continues to urge the Trump administration to advance the arms sales, asserting that robust self-defense capabilities are crucial for Taiwan to deter conflict. US President Donald Trump abruptly canceled a highly anticipated signing ceremony for an executive order aimed at strengthening AI regulation. The order would have granted the government authority to assess AI models before their public release. The cancellation, reported by Fengguan Wan, occurred just hours before the scheduled event, following strong opposition from a senior White House advisor, David Sachs, and prominent tech executives, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and xAI CEO Elon Musk. These industry leaders reportedly lobbied Trump, expressing concerns that the regulations would impede America's leading edge in the AI sector. Trump himself reportedly held little initial interest in AI regulation, viewing it as a potential stumbling block. The incident underscores internal disagreements within the Trump administration and challenges in harmonizing regulatory stances across government departments and the tech industry. The article suggests that AI accelerationists have currently gained the upper hand. According to Lianhe Zhaobao, the United States, Japan, Australia, and India are scheduled to hold a Quad Security Dialogue foreign ministers meeting in New Delhi on May 26. Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on Friday that Japanese Foreign Minister Motegi Toshimitsu will visit India for 3 days starting next Monday, May 25, to attend the meeting. The U.S. Department of State also confirmed that U.S. Secretary of State Rubio would travel to India on May 23 after attending the NATO Foreign Ministers meeting in Sweden. This meeting brings together the foreign ministers of the 4 nations for discussions on regional security and cooperation. Al Jazeera reports that a Turkish court has annulled the 2023 leadership election of the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, a move that ousts current party head Özgür Özel and reinstates former chair Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu as interim leader. This decision marks a sharp escalation against Turkey's oldest political faction, which recently achieved a significant victory over President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's ruling AK party in the 2024 local elections and has been gaining popularity in polls. The CHP promptly rejected the ruling, labeling it an attempted coup. Conversely, the government, which denies accusations of using courts to target political opponents, stated that the decision renewed Turks' faith in the rule of law. The secular and centrist CHP has also faced an unprecedented judicial crackdown since 2024, with hundreds of its members and elected officials detained on corruption charges that the party denies. Among those imprisoned is Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, Erdogan's main rival, and the CHP's presidential candidate for 2028. Following the ruling, Turkey's Borsa Istanbul dropped 6%, triggering a market-wide circuit breaker and government bonds slid. The central bank intervened by selling billions of dollars in forex to ease the fallout. Özgür Özel convened party leaders to discuss a response, with protests also being planned. The pro-Kurdish Dem Party called the court decision a black stain on Turkish democracy, while the reinstated leader Kılıçdaroğlu urged calm. According to China.org.cn, trade volume between China and Russia saw a significant increase of 19.7% year-on-year during the January-April period, reaching $85.2 billion US. This performance marks a strong start to the current year, as announced by the Ministry of Commerce, Makin Larkus, on Thursday. MACA's spokesperson He Yadong also highlighted that the annual trade volume between the two nations has consistently surpassed $200 billion for the past 3 consecutive years. Both countries have signed cooperation documents focused on trade and supporting multilateralism. Looking ahead, China and Russia aim to enhance communication on economic and trade policies, harness new quality productive forces to foster fresh growth engines, and upgrade their trade in goods and services. The recently upgraded agreement on the promotion and reciprocal protection of investments is expected to further improve investment and industrial and supply chain cooperation, alongside deepening sub-national cooperation. The OMC is committed to implementing the consensus reached by the heads of state to elevate bilateral economic and trade cooperation and strengthen coordination in multilateral and regional affairs, working towards a fair and reasonable international economic order. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.